Okay, it's 2019 paper. So lithium carbonate decomposes on heating. What is the maximum volume in decimeter cube measured at room temperature and pressure of a gas produced from 3.69 gram of lithium carbonate? So the mass of lithium carbonate is given to you, that is 3.69. So first of all, we have to find out the moles of lithium carbonate, that is moles of lithium carbonate is equal to mass, that is 3.69 divided by 73.8. Okay. So can you tell me the moles?
Sir, in the end of the class, can you clear some of my doubts which I sent you before?
Okay. Okay. What's the mole?
0.05.
0.05. Okay. 0.05 mole of lithium carbonate. And since the mole ratio between lithium carbonate and carbon dioxide is 1:1, so this would be the moles of carbon dioxide as well, because they are asking the maximum volume in dm cube. So of course volume is related to the gas, that is carbon dioxide. Okay, so once we got the moles, we have to find out the volume. So volume would be equal to mole multiplied by 24 decimeter cube, means 0.05 multiplied by 24 is equal to volume in
1.2.
decimeter cube, 1.2. Okay, C is your answer. Yes, a sample of 1,2-dichloroethane contains only the isotopes H1C12, Cl35, and Cl37. Okay, so they are saying how many molecular ion peaks are there in its mass spectrum? Molecular ion peaks. How many molecular ion peaks?
3.
Three.
Yes.
Why?
Because chlorine has 3 isotopes: 30, 35, 37, 35, 35, and 37, 37. And H and Cl and carbon stays the same.
Mm, so
So is the answer
basically,
supposed to be D because will hydrogen also have a peak?
hydrogen.
Yeah.
No, the answer is C. The answer is C. Like we would see three molecular ion peaks in the mass spectrum. Okay. Why A is incorrect, because you can see that chlorine has two isotopes. So basically we have to make possibilities, like it may be Cl35 35, Cl37 37, and Cl35 and 37. So
Why is
we
it not
have
the
three,
hydrogen?
because they have there is only one isotope of carbon. There is
No,
only one
no,
isotope
no.
of hydrogen. Sorry?
For hydrogen, why is there no isotope?
For hydrogen, what?
There's no peak. Why not?
Because we can see the peak of isotope. We are going to make a possibility whenever there is more than one isotope. You can see in this question only they have given you the two isotopes of chlorine. Okay. And for the carbon and hydrogen, they haven't given any of the isotope. So we are not going to consider the peak of like hydrogen and carbon. Okay. We can only consider the peak of those elements which would be having the isotopes. So that's why the answer is C. So this is the first peak, and this is second peak, and this is the third peak. That's it.
So sir, since carbon and hydrogen are not isotopes, they do not have peaks.
In this question, they have given this criteria. Otherwise, like carbon and hydrogen both have isotopes. But in this question, they have given you this condition.
Yeah, okay. It
Okay.
was 35 and 37. So they're giving us option for chlorine, but
Yes.
not for carbon and hydrogen.
let's suppose in this question he has given you the isotopes of carbon, so I would be considering that as well. Okay, but in this question they have not mentioned such thing. That's why I'm only considering chlorine.
All
See
right,
this
sir.
question number 3. Under certain conditions, graphite burns to form carbon monoxide. Which of these is correct? Which of these is correct? Hmm.
D.
Why?
Because if you divide the formation of the carbon monoxide by 2, to find 1 mole of carbon monoxide will be minus 110.5. Because
Why
you
not at C?
Because we're forming carbon monoxide and not carbon. Forward reaction.
Okay, and why not B?
Because
we form
enthalpy of formation is the production of 1 mole of product, and that is the mole for two products.
Yes, exactly. So that's why the answer is D, because when always we find out always we find out the enthalpy change per mole, per mole. Okay, per mole means 1 mole. So they it has this value is given according to this equation, that is 2 moles of carbon monoxide is formed. So if you would be finding out the enthalpy change per mole, so I'm going to divide it.
Sir,
I'm
can you
going
do
to
the
divide it
calculations
by
once?
2. Okay, I'm going to divide it by 2 because we have to find out enthalpy change in kilojoules per mole. Per means per 1 mole. So this value is for 2 moles. This value is for 2 moles. So for 2 mole it's minus 221, and for 1 mole it would be minus 110.5. That's why D option is correct. Simple. What are the strongest interactions between molecules in solid hydrogen iodide? Hi. It's a covalent compound.
D.
It's a covalent compound. So
B.
D.
A, D. Okay, London forces. Okay. Ionic bonding is incorrect because these both are non-metals, and hydrogen bond is also incorrect because I told you hydrogen bond is formed between the three elements, that is phone, fluorine, oxygen, and nitrogen. Okay. And why option A is incorrect? They are saying between the molecule. Like this option is correct. Like covalent bond is like correct term for this molecule, but remember covalent bond is intramolecular force. It's present between hydrogen and iodine. But they are asking, let's suppose if we have two molecules of Hi, so the force which is present between the two molecules is called London force. Okay, that's why.
So why isn't
Sir,
it
is
B?
So, sir,
hydrogen
Why isn't it B? Because the definition of hydrogen bond is electrostatic force of attraction between, like you can say, not electrostatic, intermolecular force of attraction between hydrogen and phone, fluorine, oxygen, and nitrogen. So iodine is not lying in this category. So that's why Hi wouldn't be having any type of hydrogen bonding. That's why option B is incorrect. Okay.
Thanks.
Hmm.
so, sir, why is it not covalent again? Sorry.
Covalent का मतलब ये है कि like the bond which is present between hydrogen and iodine. It's not intermolecular bond. It's intramolecular. Like they are asking between the molecule, between the
Also,
two
so
Hi molecules.
covalent is intramolecular bond.
Yeah, exactly. Between the elements. They are asking between the molecules. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. They are asking about the IMF. IMF. Yeah, see this. Disproportionation reaction.
reaction 3? So
Reaction
C.
Seven.
number two.
Reaction 2. Okay.
C.
You know what is disproportionation reaction?
So is it D?
Disproportionation means that when the same species, when the same substance is oxidized and reduced, both. Like if you can see option C, in which copper is plus 1, it's changing from plus 1 to 0, and then it's changing from plus 1 to plus 2. So when it is changing from plus 1 to 0, so this is known as oxidation, reduction. This is known as reduction. And when it is changing
Oh, yes,
from
yes, yes.
plus 1 to 2, so this is known as oxidation. So according
Oh,
to the
okay.
definition of disproportionation reaction, when the same substance, that is copper plus 1, is oxidized and reduced. That's why reaction 3 is correct. In
So, sir,
reaction
ये
2, you
reaction
can
2 is
see,
decomposition reaction, right?
yes, no
Okay. I
decomposition
confused.
तो नहीं कह सकते basically. You can see copper is 0 and copper is plus 2. Copper is plus 2. So copper is oxidized. So we have to see another copper that would be reduced, but there is no any other copper in this reaction. So I can't say that this is redox reaction, but this is not a disproportionation reaction. Copper should be oxidized and reduced in the same equation, but it's not
तो
happening in
ये
this equation.
decomposition भी नहीं है ना?
नहीं decomposition नहीं है ये.
So decomposition का मतलब जब हीट होती है ना?
Decomposition अगर आपके पास copper nitrate होता तो आप इसको break down कर देते into this. Then I can say that this is disproportionation reaction. It's metal and then this is acid. Metal is going to react with acid. It's going to form salt and then gases. Okay,
Okay.
it's a redox reaction.
Okay.
Which is an acid-base reaction?
D.
Which is an acid-base reaction? D,
D.
like reaction 4. Yes. क्यों? Why? Because copper oxide is a metal oxide and metal oxides are basic and sulfuric acid is an acid. So it's an acid-based reaction. So that's why D is correct. Which statement is correct? Barium carbonate is less stable to heat. Barium carbonate is less stable to heat than magnesium carbonate. I told you down the group, thermal stability of carbonate is going to increase. Thermal stability of carbonate is going to increase. So barium is below than magnesium. So barium carbonate is more stable. They are saying less stable. They are saying less stable. Then they are saying barium hydroxide is less soluble. I told you down the group solubility of hydroxide increases. Down the group solubility of hydroxide increases. It's also incorrect. It's not less soluble. It's more soluble. It's more stable.
So
In
down the
C, they
group
are saying
solubility, down the group solubility increases or decreases?
solubility of hydroxide increases
Okay.
and solubility of sulfate decreases. Okay.
Okay.
Barium sulfate is less soluble in water than magnesium sulfate. So down the group, solubility of sulfate decreases. So it's correct because barium is below magnesium. So solubility of this sulfate should be lower. So it's correct. Barium metal is less reactive. No, barium metal is more
So
reactive
why
because
is barium sulfate less soluble in water than magnesium sulfate?
you must know the trend. I told you at that time as well that you must know the trend.
Oh yeah,
Why?
because
Like
sulfate
solubility
is
increases or decreases. That's it. Okay.
okay.
Because it depends on certain factors like hydration, enthalpy, and the solution one. But you must know the trend only solubility of sulfate and the solubility of hydroxide, and
So
also
the
the thermal
solubility of
stability.
sulfate increases down the group, right? No, decreases down the group, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Question 7. Which statement is not correct? Chlorine is more electronegative than bromine. Down the group, electronegativity decreases. Down the group, electronegativity decreases. Okay. ये म्यूट कर लेना जो भी है यार.
C is
Down the group,
incorrect.
chlorine is more electronegative than bromine. So this statement is correct. Okay. They are asking incorrect statement. Then in B, chlorine is more reactive than bromine. It's correct statement because down the group, reactivity decreases. I'm talking about halogens. Okay, statement is correct.
So
Chlor-
C is wrong, right?
chloride ions are stronger reducing agents than bromide ion. We have bromide and then we have chloride. So reducing agent oxidizes itself and reduces other. Okay. So oxidation is the loss of electron. So bromide can lose its electron easily because the size of bromine is larger and the size of chlorine is smaller. So it cannot lose its electron easily. So bromine can easily oxidize. So means that it's a stronger reducing agent. So but they are saying chloride ions are a stronger reducing agent. So this is incorrect statement. That's why C is correct. Okay. See question number 8. A white solid X produces a red color in a flame test when aqueous silver nitrate and nitric acid are added to a solution of X, a cream precipitate. So we have three colors of the precipitate. White precipitate is for chloride, cream PPT is for bromide, and yellow PPT is for iodide. Okay. So they're saying cream PPT, which dissolves in concentrated aqueous
Okay.
ammonia. What is the formula of X? So of
So
course
it's
A is
B
correct.
or A. Sorry, it's gonna be A for strontium.
Yeah, because they are saying red color in a flame test. Sodium gives yellow color. Sodium gives yellow color after burning. Okay. See question number 9.
So is it A?
I think this is the balanced chemical equation. Yes.
So I think it's A, the answer.
A. Why?
So I did 50 over 1000 times 1.
First of all, you have to find out the moles of nitric acid. What's the answer?
Sir, we're gonna do more number of moles of barium nitrate divided by the volume of barium nitrate
Point
is
1.
equal to the concentration, right?
What's the answer?
Point 1.
0.1 mole of HNO3. Then we have to find out the mole of barium hydroxide. Concentration times volume. Concentration is 50
0.05.
multiplied by the volume is 50 multiplied by the concentration, that is 1 divided by 1000. What's the answer?
0.05.
Point zero five.
0.05 mole. So
Sir, can you repeat? I don't understand.
B, okay, let's check this question. And they are asking the concentration of barium nitrate. Barium nitrate is the product. So you need to take the mole ratio. But the question is with whom I am supposed to take the mole ratio? Between this and this or between this and this? So this question is related to limiting reactant. This question is related to the limiting reactant. Okay. So first of all, you have to find out which one is the limiting reactant. Which one is the
Isn't it the same exact
limiting?
values?
Hmm?
Isn't it the same? Because, like, if you times the moles of barium hydroxide, then you get 0.1.
Yeah, exactly. So you can take any of the mole. Okay, you can take any of the mole. So what's the method to check to find out the limiting reactant? After getting the moles, you are supposed to divide the moles by the coefficient. The coefficient of barium hydroxide is 1. If you are going to divide it by 1, you would be getting the same answer, that is 0.05. Okay, and the coefficient for nitric acid is 2. And if you're going to divide it by 2, so you would be getting the same answer, that is 0.05 mole of nitric acid.
So answer
So,
is A, right?
okay, since the number of moles are same, so then the number of moles of barium nitrate would be 0.05 mole of barium nitrate. Then we have to divide it by the volume. And the total volume is 50 and 50, that is 100 centimeter cube. So you are supposed to convert this cm cube into the dm cube. 100 divided by 1000, that would be 0.1. So I'm going to divide it by 0.1. So what's the answer? Hmm?
0.5.
So the answer is B. Okay,
So why do we use the volumes of nitric acid and barium hydroxide?
because if you are going to mix this and this, yes, कौन है भाई बोलो.
सर
हम्म.
सर आपने ये बैलेंस किया था ना बेरियम नाइट्रेट को,
हम्म.
तो आपने NO3 ब्रैकेट 2, ये मैं इसमें कंफ्यूज हो जाता हूँ
ये तो
कैसे.
बेबी कॉन्सेप्ट है भाई. बेरियम इज इन ग्रुप 2, so the valency is 2. I am supposed to write 2.
ओ
सोडियम नाइट्रेट में 2 नहीं लगेगा, it is in group
पीछे
1.
ओके.
सिंपल है.
ओ
So
ओके
I was saying कि
ठीक है.
when you are going to mix this and this, so of course the total volume would be 100, because in this question they haven't provided you the volume of barium nitrate. So I would be considering the total volume. Okay.
Okay, so what about water? Doesn't it include the volume of water
The
as well?
concentration of water is not going to change. We
Okay.
never take the volume of water. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. So the reason is that the concentration of water is not going to change throughout. So we are only interested in the product, that is barium nitrate. Now see this question number B. Yes.
B.
Basically, they are saying the volume of the nitric acid is measured using a burette. Each burette reading has an uncertainty of plus minus 0.05 centimeter cube. What is the percentage uncertainty in measuring 50 centimeter cube of the nitric acid? Remember, we take the reading from the burette twice. Initial reading and then the final reading. You must know the formula to find out the percentage uncertainty. That is, they have given you plus minus 0.05. I'm going to multiply it by 2 and divide it by the volume that they have given to you, that is 50, multiplied by 100. So the answer would be 2 into 0.05, that is 1 upon 50 times 100, that is 0.2. B is correct. You must know the formula in this question, okay? Question number 10. It's related to the halogen, like group 7 elements. Which of these products are formed when chlorine is passed through cold dilute aqueous sodium hydroxide? We had two reactions, with cold
B.
and then with hot. With hot, NaClO3 was formed, and with cold, only NaClO was formed. So that's why the answer is A. It's purely memorization. If you know the reaction, so you would take the correct option, and if you don't know the reaction, so you would not be able to do this question. It's totally related to memorization. Okay. Now see question 11.
B.
Potassium iodide reacts with concentrated sulfuric acid.
C.
Which of the following is not a product? Remember, when we were doing this reaction, we never saw this product. We saw H2S, we saw iodine as well, we saw S as well, sulfur, but not SO3, remember. So let me write down the possible products. So when I minus, that is the strongest, you can say, reducing agent, is going
So
to
this being
react
one,
with
right?
sulfuric acid. Okay. So you will see multiple products. Let's suppose you will see sulfur, that is yellow solid. You will see sulfur dioxide, that is choking smell gas. You would see iodine as well, that is gray solid. You will see H2S as well, that is a rotten egg smell, and you will see HI as well, misty fumes. So these are the possible products, but you would never see this sulfur trioxide as a product. Okay. So again, the memorization, you must know what would be formed as a result of this reaction. See question 12. Sodium thiosulfate solution reacts with hydrochloric acid to produce solid sulfur. Which change would be expected to increase the time taken for sulfur to appear? Sodium thiosulfate reacts with hydrochloric acid to produce solid sulfur. It's a chemical reaction.
D.
Yeah, B.
Uh, B. Which
B for
change would
ball.
be expected to increase the time? When the time increases, so the rate decreases, because rate and time, they are inversely proportional to each other. Rate is inversely proportional to time, like 1 over t.
So
When the
it's
time
B, right?
increases, so the rate decreases, of course, because concentration is directly proportional to the rate of reaction. When the concentration decreases, so the rate
So time
decreases.
increases, the rate decreases, right?
Exactly, yes. The equation for a reversible reaction is shown. What effect will each change have on the rate of reaction and the equilibrium yield of phosphorus 5 chloride, that is PCl5, increasing the temperature at constant pressure? Since this is an exothermic reaction, so if you are going to increase the temperature of an exothermic reaction, okay, if you are going to increase the temperature of an exothermic reaction, so the reaction will move backward. Okay, so
A.
increasing the temperature means that it would it would reverse the reaction. So the yield of PCl5 would be decreasing. Okay, yield of PCl5 means reaction is moving backward. What does it mean? The concentration of product is going
I
to
think it's
decrease.
gonna
So
be A.
decrease and decrease. You have two options. Then effect on the rate of reaction. Of course, temperature is directly proportional to the rate. So that's why option A is correct. Okay.
Sir, can you explain again?
Rate and temperature, they are directly proportional to each other.
I don't understand the yield part.
Yield means product. Yield means product. And product means the reaction is moving forward.
Yeah, because backwards and endothermic, right? So if
Yes,
when it's already an exothermic reaction, we increase the temperature, then it's
exactly.
gonna go backwards.
Hmm. So they are saying we are going to increase the temperature of an exothermic system. That's why the reaction is moving backward. And the yield of the product is going to decrease. Okay. That's why.
So it's gonna become an endothermic reaction.
Yes. In option B, increasing the pressure at constant temperature. So pressure means we are looking at the gas. Since we have 2 moles of gases in the reactant side and 1 mole of gas in the product side, so when you are going to increase the pressure, so the reaction would move forward, more moles to the less moles. Forward means that yield of the PCl5 would increase. It may be C, it may be D. Now we have to see effect on the rate of reaction. So remember, pressure
Here
C.
is
we have
directly
more.
proportional to the rate. Pressure is directly proportional to the rate. When pressure increases, so the volume decreases, particles come close to each other, they would be colliding with each other. Hence, I can say the rate of reaction increases. So that's why option C is correct. Okay.
Sir, when we look at pressure, we look at the moles, right? So if you have more moles on the
Mhm. More
left
to
side,
less. More moles to the less moles.
Okay, so if
More
you have
moles to
more,
the less moles.
okay,
Okay.
so over here we have more moles on the reactant side. That's why our
Yes.
yield is increasing. Okay.
Okay, so we have more on the reaction side. So when we go to the products side, we need to increase the pressure.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Then it will favor a forward reaction.
Yes. More to less. बस ये याद रख लो. More to less. बस खत्म.
Okay.
14. A chloroalkane is heated with dilute aqueous sodium hydroxide and the pure organic product is obtained. When the organic product is warmed with acidified potassium dichromate solution, there is no change in color. The chloroalkane could be the chloroalkane could be
B, because it's a tertiary alcohol, and tertiary alcohols cannot be oxidized.
so first of all they are saying when chloroalkane, let's suppose I am considering that this is CH3Cl, this is CH3Cl is going to react with NaOH, it's going to form CH3OH. Okay, pure organic product is obtained. When the organic product is warmed with acidified potassium dichromate, this is an oxidizing agent. So there is no change in color, means that there is no reaction. So you must know why there is no reaction if you are going to react it with an alcohol. Okay. So of course we must have a tertiary alcohol. We must have a tertiary alcohol. So one chlorobutane would be giving you primary alcohol that can be oxidized easily, of course. But when you have option B, what's the structure of option B? It's 2-chloro 2-methyl propane. First of all, you have to draw the chain of propane, then it's 2-methyl, and then it's 2-chloro. Of course, when it would be reacting with sodium hydroxide, so it would be forming this alcohol, and then of course this is the tertiary alcohol, so the oxidizing agent cannot oxidize this tertiary alcohol. That's why option B is correct. Okay.
So if color
Sir,
changes, that means that oxidation has occurred, right?
Yes.
Okay.
sir, if there is color change, would it be orange to green?
Yes, because the color of K2Cr2O7 is orange, and after oxidation, it will be turning into green. Yes.
Sir, can you explain the sodium
Okay.
hydroxide again? Why are we using sodium hydroxide?
Why we are using what?
Sodium hydroxide.
They have mentioned. I'm not using it because they are
Okay,
saying
okay, okay.
yes. Okay. 15. Yes. It's easy question.
B.
B. Mhm. This question is about two
B.
isomeric alcohols and two isomeric carbonyl compounds. Okay. This is your primary alcohol. This is your aldehyde, this is your secondary alcohol, this is your ketone. Which reaction is possible? Reducing propane one all. No, 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 no. Alcohol can be oxidized. They cannot be reduced. So first of all, you must know this. Alcohols can be oxidized. Okay. So option A is incorrect. Option B, oxidizing propanol to propanol. Yes, it's good because primary alcohol can be oxidized into aldehyde and aldehyde can be further oxidized into
Carboxylic acid,
carboxylic
right?
acid. Reducing propanol to propanol. No. Reducing propanol to propane one all because aldehyde can be reduced into primary alcohol.
Sir, for
Oxidize.
propan one, that's ketone, right? And that's only for secondary.
Yes. And oxidizing propane one all to propanone. Propane one all is oxidized into propanol, not propanone. That's why option B is correct. Okay. Yeah. Question B.
So oxygen gets oxidized. Sorry, alcohol gets oxidized to aldehyde, right? Which is propanol.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Which compound would be expected to give a significant peak at mass to charge that 31 in its mass spectrum?
Is it C because of the aldehyde?
They have not mentioned that this should be aldehyde.
Okay. Do we not use the infrared spectroscopy?
Sir, how would we
with
know? I have no idea about this question, sir.
Okay, basically, first
do
of
we
all,
need
you
to
have
draw it
to,
out and convert it into ions and then calculate the MR?
yes, it's propane one all. Let's try option A. It's propane one all. Okay.
Oh, we have to split it.
Hmm,
Okay, and then we calculate the MRs.
exactly.
Okay, okay.
Propane two all is this.
So we split from
So what does this? What do the peaks depend on? What property gives us a higher peak?
Wait, it's a propanol, and then it's propanone. Okay, now I'm going to break it down, and I would see that am I getting the peak of 31 or not. So let's say I'm breaking it down from here. Okay. If you can count, if you can count, if you can find the MR of this portion, it's
that's
15.
15, so it's not correct.
And if you can see this portion, so what's the MR of this portion?
45?
45.
Yeah.
CH2 and then CH2OH.
45.
Okay, it's 45. Uh, and if I'm going to, what if I'm going to break it down from here. Let's suppose. So that would be 29 C2H5, and it would be
31.
31. Okay, means propane one all may be your correct option, but let's try option B as well.
So,
You
sir,
are
you just
supposed
need
to,
131 on either side.
yes, 131 नहीं, 31.
अच्छा, नहीं मैं बोल रहा हूँ सर कोई भी साइड पे
हाँ
31
हाँ
सेट
हाँ
चाहिए.
हाँ हाँ हाँ, yes.
Okay.
Okay, this is 15
The
or
other's 45.
and this is what?
45.
45. Okay. Okay, I'm not getting 31, so let's break it down in other manner. So I think so this is a symmetrical molecule, so there is no way, there is no other way to break it down. So of course it's wrong. Then you can try option C.
So
You are
how do you divide them?
it's up to
Based
you.
on what?
The product should be more stable. मतलब आप यूं नहीं कर सकते कि आपने इसको यहाँ से ब्रेक डाउन कर दिया. It's an odd breaking
Okay.
down. Okay.
आप कहीं भी ब्रेक डाउन कर सकते हो लेकिन परपेंडिकुलर रहना चाहिए.
Product should be stable. Like CH3 positive, it's stable as compared to this, of course. CH3 is more stable, right? So
प्रोपनॉल भी नहीं मिला.
propanol nahi hai. Okay. C and then 16, then plus 1. I think so it's not equal to 31. See?
This one isn't either.
Okay. So option B is correct. Okay. Option A is correct. It's giving us 31. The infrared spectrum of one of the four compounds is shown. Identify the compound using the infrared absorptions from the data booklet. Infrared absorptions from the data booklet. So remember, this is very good question, and they have given us a peak, that is this. This peak is of carbonyl. Remember, I know I know the range. That is 1600 to 1700. It's of carbonyl. Okay. And of course, option A and option B is incorrect because in both options there is no any carbonyl. They are
C.
alcohol. They are alcohol. Okay. And why not D? Why not D? You know this peak? What this peak suggests? Yes. Can
The
you match it
carbon
with
two
the data
hydro
booklet? Sorry.
the alkane.
Propanol is this. Propanol is this, and propanol is this. Propanol is this. Okay. So can you see the data booklet and see this peak?
Is it a CH bond?
So I didn't
Is
understand
it
this part
silica
when I saw the video you sent.
or the ester?
Yes. Ester.
No,
नहीं
wait,
नहीं
not the
ester तो नहीं
ester.
है.
Carboxylic acid.
Basically, basically no carboxylic की तो peak आपको you look just like that. It's a broad peak. It's a sharp peak. It's a strong peak. Okay. So in propanol there is no any CH two bond like CH2 bond.
Aldehyde.
Yeah, and in aldehyde you can see just like that. Okay, just like that. Like it's carbon and carbon. CH peak which is connected to another CH. I mean to say that it's not just like CH3 is connected to any carbonyl. No, directly connected to carbonyl. No, it's the carbon, like it's connected to alkane as well. Basically, this is alkane peak. That's what I was saying. That's why I'm saying it's propanol.
Can you
Okay.
repeat?
There are two peaks. First peak is this. Okay. This is CH peak. I know. But we have this as well. Okay. This is also CH peak, but it's connected to another CH as well. So 3000 means this carbon and hydrogen, not this. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. That's why I'm saying it's an aldehyde. It's not a ketone. In ketone, there is no any other CH bond which is connected to any of the alkane. So that's why it's an aldehyde. Group 2 hydroxides are used to neutralize acids. Write an equation for the reaction of calcium with cold water. So cold water, of course, when you are going to react it with a cold water, so the hydroxide is formed rather than the oxide. State symbols are not required. So calcium is going to react with water. It's going to form calcium hydroxide and hydrogen gas and hydrogen gas. Okay, and hydrogen gas. So state symbols are not required, of course, right?
Okay.
Then explain why a saturated solution of calcium hydroxide is more alkaline than a saturated solution of magnesium hydroxide. So, you know, magnesium hydroxide is less soluble in water as compared to calcium hydroxide as the solubility of hydroxide increases down the group. So, of course, when the calcium hydroxide is more soluble, so it's giving you it would be giving you more OH ions. More OH ions means that the pH would be higher for the calcium hydroxide. That's why. So they are saying in this question, why a saturated solution of calcium hydroxide is more alkaline? More alkaline. Of course, I'm supposed to write calcium hydroxide is more soluble in water. Okay, than magnesium hydroxide.
Sir, because solubility of hydroxides increase down the group, right?
हाँ जी, ऐसा ही है.
Sir, can I
So
refer to size? Can I say that calcium is larger
it's of
than?
it's of 2 marks, so you're not supposed to mention all the reasons. Okay,
Okay.
it ionizes more.
So what are the base reasons that we always use in every question like that?
It ionizes more and gives more OH negative ion.
Okay.
A solution was tested for the presence of carbonate ions. Okay, and write an equation for the formation of the gas. State symbols are not required. They're asking ionic equation. So first of all, you have to write down the full equation so that you can write down an ionic equation. In this question, HCl is going to react with um, carbonate.
So I think calcium. Uh, no.
Let's suppose I'm taking sodium carbonate, and it would be giving us sodium
Salt
chloride.
plus water plus carbon dioxide, right?
Yeah, carbon dioxide and water. Of course, this is aqueous. This is aqueous. This is aqueous. This is gas. This is liquid. So
So wouldn't it be 2HCl?
yes, I would be getting this. Okay. Write the equation for the formation of the
Sir, was this
precipitate,
lime water?
which is lime water.
The previous question.
No,
Sir,
basically they are saying we have to test the carbon dioxide through lime water.
so sir, don't we write CaCO3 plus H2O?
No, they are saying dilute hydrochloric acid was added to the solution and the gas given off was bubbled through lime water. Basically, they are just checking the presence of carbon dioxide. They are asking something else. Okay.
सर जिससे आपने ये सोडियम कार्बोनेट के लिए CO3 लिखा है नीचे, थ्री नीचे लिखा है, तो आपने सोडियम में 2 ऊपर क्यों लिख दिया?
सोडियम में 2 ऊपर क्यों लिखा? लाइक
2Na, 2Na first.
sodium carbonate after ionization it can give you 2 sodium ions. That's why I have written 2Na plus. Okay.
Why? Because it's
Formula में
how should I know it's gonna give me 2 ions when it ionizes?
like it has 2. Simple. If it's 1, so it can give you only 1 ion. Like magnesium carbonate
Okay.
can give you only 1 magnesium ion, not 2.
Yeah, so why didn't CO3 give us 3 ions when we ionized
No,
it?
no, no. It's only 1 ion. It's not
Okay, because
CO3.
CO3 are 2 ions, so that's why it doesn't give us 3.
Yeah. No, 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 no. The charge of carbonate is 2 minus. Whenever you can write down the formula, so you swap the numbers. You just swap the numbers. So I am supposed to write 2 over there. This is the charge of this carbonate. Since the charge of sodium is 1, so I'm not supposed to write 1 over there. So 1 carbonate and 2 sodium. When you are going to ionize it, so you are supposed to write 2 sodium ions and 1 carbonate ion. That's why.
Okay.
Carbonate is a compound ion. इसको अलग अलग नहीं सोचो कि कार्बन अलग हो जाएगा ऑक्सीजन अलग हो जाएगा ऐसा नहीं है कार्बोनेट इज अ compound ion. It's a mixture of carbon and oxygen.
Okay.
Okay, like sulfate is a compound ion,
Okay.
SO4
Thank
2
you, sir.
minus. Write the equation for the formation of the precipitate. So of course, precipitate means that when you are going to add calcium hydroxide in, like basically when you are going to do a lime water test. So you know lime water is calcium hydroxide, and when it's going to react with carbon dioxide, of course, we can see the
Calcium
lime water
carbonate
turns milky. We can see the lime water turns milky, okay? And they are saying
plus
include
water.
state samples. So it's aqueous, it's soluble in water, it's a gas, it's solid, it's a white precipitate, it's liquid, okay? CD, question
So this
number
is called
D.
the lime water test, right?
Yeah, because they are saying formation of the precipitate. So of course they are indicating that you have to write down the equation for the lime water test, because in the lime water we are getting the white precipitate. So we have to write down that equation, okay? Yeah, question D.
Okay.
Yes.
$14.3.
Uh, calculate the minimum mass of magnesium hydroxide needed to neutralize 0.150 mole of hydrochloric acid. Give
Wait,
your
no, no,
answer
no.
to
14 point.
I got 4.35.
uh, uh, okay, HCl and MgOH2, right? 2 is to 1. I can see the moles, that is 0.515. It would be X.
4.4.
What's the answer of mole?
0.075.
0.0.
75.
I can find out the mass that is equal to Mr. Moles. MR of calcium hydroxide, I don't know.
It's
Magnesium hydroxide,
58.
58 times mole, that is 0.075. I would be getting the mass in grams. Okay. Okay.
So what's the MR of magnesium hydroxide?
58.
Okay.
Okay. आसान है ये तो बिल्कुल सिंपल.
बस हमने रेशियो लिया फिर हमने मिस्टर मोल्स कर दिया.
Yeah, exactly. Same. Simple.
4.35.
Okay. Biobutanol is a possible alternative to bioethanol as an additive to petrol. Complete the table for the four isomer of this, which are alcohols. Okay. So what's the name?
2
2
methyl
methyl propane 1 O.
And it's primary, of course.
Secondary. No, primary. Okay, yeah.
And this would be one, two, three, four. Butane 2-ol,
This is secondary.
2-methyl propane 2-ol.
Tertiary.
It's tertiary, yes. Baby question है. Explain the difference in boiling temperatures between butane 1-ol and 2-methyl propane 2-ol. So of course, 2-methyl
Butane
propane
1O
2-ol is
is
having
a
more
3.
branches. It
Okay.
has a lower surface area, and butane 1-ol is having a higher surface area. So of course, intermolecular force is directly proportional to the surface area. So I can say that the butane 1-ol would be having higher boiling point than that of 2-methyl propane 2-ol, because it has a weaker intermolecular force. Okay, because it has a weaker intermolecular force. So I'm supposed to write I'm supposed to write that uh, butane 1-ol is having long chain which can pack more tightly.
So what do you mean by pack more tightly?
Let's suppose this is chain and this is another chain, because we are talking about the intermolecular force which is present between the two molecules. So they have a flat surface. So when you are going to attach these both molecules, so the point of attachment is greater. So of course the intermolecular force of attraction would be greater. Let's suppose if you have this one, like I'm talking about this is the surface area, okay? And I have another molecules of this having the same surface area just like that. So the point of attachment is very small. You can see only this point of attachment due to its structure. Of course, when the surface area is lower, so the point of attachment is lower, so you can separate them very easily because intermolecular force is weaker. That's why. Okay? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So can pack more tightly than the branched structure. Okay, as branched structure have weaker London intermolecular force, I can say, which require less temperature to boil. Yeah, see this?
Sir, can you scroll up? I want to take a screenshot.
The displayed formula of butane monol is shown. Complete the diagram to show the strongest intermolecular force between two molecules of butane 1-ol. Include the intermolecular bond angle.
Would it be 104.5?
So see, this is partial positive, right? And this is going to have partial negative. Okay. So we have to draw another structure, of course. We have to draw another structure of this one, the same molecule. Uh, this is oxygen, H, going to have a lone pair of electron and it's connected to this.
So what are we making?
Hydrogen bonding basically. Strongest intermolecular force.
So we could also have a nitrogen molecule or a fluorine molecule there, right?
But they are saying this structure we have right now. Okay, that's why. Partial positive, partial negative. So what's the bond angle?
For OHO, it's 180, and OHC, it's
180
104.5.
degree. Okay. Between the two molecules we have to see. Between the two molecules we have to
They
see.
don't
Not
want
this one.
water?
Not this one. Okay.
Okay.
Between the two molecules. Include the intermolecular bond angle. Not intramolecular. They
So
have
why is
mentioned
it 104.5?
104.5 is this. They're
Okay.
asking this one between the two molecules, right?
Is it always going to be 180?
That's why they have mentioned.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Complete the
Sir,
equation
is
for this
hydrogen
question.
bonding intermolecular or intramolecular?
Intermolecular, IMF. It's a type of IMF. It's a type of IMF. Okay.
Okay, intermolecular. Okay.
Or. Yeah.
Sir, do we do this and send it to you?
Sorry.
Do we do this question and send it to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's easy. Like just balance this question equation.
So, sir, you're gonna write 4 in the carbons, right? That's the first one. Yeah, 4. So, because the double bond, do we increase the number of carbons or anything?
Hmm?
Sorry, oxygens.
Increase the number of what?
No, no, sorry, sorry. That's a stupid question. Sir, the oxygens are balanced.
It's balanced equation, I think.
So we have 13 oxygens on the reactants.
Hmm.
Yeah, and 13 on products. Okay.
What's the answer?
I got two minus 2,512 joules.
I got -2,512.
Different answers.
Sir,
Okay.
can you explain how to do this?
Okay. Basically, how many CH bonds we have? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Nine.
8, 9. So 4, 1, 3 times 9. And OH bond is 464. And CC bond and CO bond is 358. Okay, CO bond and then CC bond. One, two, three. Three CC bonds, like 347 times 3. Plus OO 498 times 6. What's the answer of this?
Sir, I
It's
got
8568.
8,568. Yeah, I also got this.
Then product side. 8 multiplied by 805. Then plus 5 to the 10 multiplied by OH, that is 464. So the answer is
One 11080.
11080.
Sir, but for
Okay.
the 8 multiplied by 805, we have two double carbons with O, right? So you have to do into 2 as well.
वो मैंने डायरेक्ट 8 लिख दिया यहाँ पर.
अच्छा, ठीक है. तो 10,570.
So then 8568 minus 11080. So the answer is minus 25.2. That's the answer. Okay.
So we did the same thing in IGCSE as well, right?
100% same.
Okay.
A data book value of the molar enthalpy change of combustion of butane 1-ol is minus 2670. Give two reasons for the difference between this value and the value calculated in B part 2. So the
Incomplete
calculated,
combustion
uh
and heat loss.
exactly, heat loss, yes. So I can say that uh, you can say what was the value minus 2512 and this value is minus 2670. Of course, this value is more negative. This value is more negative. So they are saying give two reasons for the difference between this value and the value calculated in B part 2.
But isn't
So
it talking about the bond enthalpy compared to the enthalpy combustion?
basically they are doing bond enthalpy, yes. So you can write down bond enthalpies for, you can say, uh, this is the bond enthalpy for butane 1-ol. Okay, a data book value, butane 1-ol, and its combustion. Its combustion. Combustion means it's going to produce a gas because it has a higher temperature. Because it has a higher temperature. So this is going to be, you can say, gas. Okay, combustion of butane 1-ol. So I am supposed to write that bond enthalpies are for gases. Okay, butane 1-ol is liquid. We always use the term bond enthalpy for the gases, not for the liquids. But here the butane 1-ol is liquid because it's an alcohol. Alcohols are going to have a stronger intermolecular force, so they are liquid at room temperature. Okay. So
So that's why the bond enthalpy is higher.
yes. So bond enthalpy for different compounds
So normally
for
bond enthalpy is for gases.
हाँ जी, bond enthalpy for gases.
Okay.
So bond enthalpy for different compound may be different. May be different from the mean value given. This is a mean value. The data book value basically. So it may be different because we are using in this question the bond enthalpy value, which is used for the gases. So that's why the answer is totally different. Okay.
We can't write heat loss.
It's also possible, but in this question, the condition is different because they are going to calculate the bond enthalpies, which is used generally for gases, and they are referring this value with the data book value that is for the liquids. So, so in this question specifically, you are supposed to give this reason. Otherwise, generally, we always do the same, like heat loss, like the beaker which is made of a glass is going to absorb some heat, and the heat loss to the tripod is 10 as well because tripod is made of the iron. But that is something else. Okay, that is something else. Uh, See this question. This is of 2 marks.
So is it the triangle thing we used to do?